Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be reacting to, or mainly reviewing, the Dragon Prince Season 4 Episode 1 Rebirthday. Thank you so much, Albert, for sponsoring this. I am so sorry, but when I was recording the first two reactions I filmed today, which the first one was Dragon Prince, the second one was Stargirl, I did not notice that when I was trying to sort something out with my OBS to try a different camera out, I'd managed to somehow muck up the audio settings, so when I filmed my first two reactions, there is no sound. You can hear the episode sound, but you can't hear me, and as it's a reaction, that is a vital part of it. So I have done something a little bit different. I have sort of gone through and I found a couple of like key reaction moments where you can vaguely see on my face what I'm reacting to, and then I've got a list of key moments that I'm going to talk about to help like thread my review. And this will be slightly more of a review, but you'll still hear my thoughts, and then there'll still be some reaction portions, and then the audio is back up. I've got it fixed, like I can see it going now. I'm just so annoyed with myself that this happened, and that I'm so glad I checked. I had this random feeling after Stargirl. I was like, I'll just see that everything's okay, and it was not okay. So I am really sorry about that. This is the one time the YouTube version will be the exact same as the Patreon version, because I'm so excited. I watched this today on Patreon on the day it came out on Netflix. I will be doing one a week on Patreon from here on out, and in YouTube I think the reactions of season 1 I've scheduled them to go up end of this year, so season 4 will come like mid 2023. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the rest of them are up and there have been no issues like this. They're all up on my Patreon right now thanks to Albert. So this episode was fantastic. From the very beginning with the 2-year time jump.
It's been 2 years, Dad. Over 2 years have passed.
Every single character is so grown up, from Callum with his little fancy spiky hairdo. It made me so happy to see. I loved it, and I love the fact that even though they look older and they are older and they act a little bit older in some ways, the characters aren't so hugely different. Callum is still awkward as anything. I really loved seeing him being the royal mage. I think he's perfectly suited for it, much better than his predecessor, and I'm excited to see how that all shapes out. And even Soren and Corvus looked so much more grown up. It's just so great to kind of, I think they did a really good job of making it clear that time had passed while keeping the characters themselves the same. And then in this moment it hit me that little tiny baby Ezra was going to be 2 years older, and I was so proud of him. He's starting to look like, kind of doing his hair like his father used to do his hair. He is growing up, and it is just so sweet to see him remaining so strong and composed and being such a good king at such a young age. I love him. And of course Bait got his hero moment.
All here.
The highlight of the show for me. I am concerned that Callum has the mirror. I'll get into that a little bit more later. But I also am hopeful it could be a tool for them to learn more about Aaravos. I can't say his name. I read it in the intro in my reaction, and I pronounced it like that, and then I realised I was being a pirate for some reason, and my brain has heard them say it a dozen times now, and I'm still like, Aaravos. Okay, so Callum saying that they're going to have visitors made me very happy.
Dragon Queen is coming to Katalis, and she's bringing Zim.
Huh?
I physically cannot wait to see Zim again, but then I was like, he's gonna be 2 years bigger, and I didn't know if I was emotionally prepared for that. It didn't happen in this episode, so I didn't have to be emotionally prepared either way. There'll probably be they had bloody better, touch wood, be audio when I'm not emotionally prepared to see Zim 2 years older. And I think the idea of bringing the dragons is a really good one, because we are fostering a new wave of peace between Zadia and the human realms, and dragons are a huge part of that. And if the dragons are able to come and have a peaceful visit and just, show that they are not hostile, that they don't hold grudges for what humans have done, and they're thankful for the other things that humans have done, it could really help solve some of those fears that a lot of these people are feeling, because they're feeling kind of justifiably fearful because there have been instances of dragons attacking humans and there's not much you can do against them. But I think this could be a really wonderful moment. I'm worried it will go wrong somehow, but I do think it's a sign of the way that Ezran is moving us, and I love it so much that he's moving us into this peaceful future. I thought it was kind of funny. I know this is obviously a kids show, and so various things you kind of have to be like, yeah, this show is there's so much in it for adults to enjoy, but it's primarily aimed at kids, so some of the humour and stuff you just allow. I thought it was really funny that the council meeting, they basically sat down, discussed a baker joining the council, some dragons coming, which was state business, and then they were like, that's it, that's done. There was no other state business for this council. Now obviously they have other councils, and in a kids show they're hardly going to start talking about taxation or whether or not the harvest was good, but I took it to mean that things are going great in Catullus. You know, Ezran is like the peace with Zadia, and the fact that there is no longer a need of that being a threat, there's peace with the other human kingdoms hopefully, that things are just going well and they are happy, that there aren't many things to discuss at these meetings because the kingdom is being run well. That is how I chose to take it, and I'm going to keep it that way. And I really like as well, I think this 2-year time jump was brilliant because it's given the characters a breather. Yes, bad things will have happened to them in the 2 years, I'm sure, but in general, you know, they spent a significant chunk of the last 3 seasons in a state of terror, or at the very least on the go, knowing that what they were doing was life and death, high stakes. And given as well how young a lot of the characters are, but even for the adults, I think it's really important that they have had this time, this breather, this few years to grow, to heal from some of the trauma and stuff they went through, though this show's not going to delve too much into that, I don't think. But you know, they're kind of to heal, to grow, to become a better version of themselves, to understand everything and the choices they made before, and to become better people for them. They still have a long way to go, most of them are children still, but I think that was a really nice thing that it's not, you know, I kind of half expected we would be starting up not too long, like maybe like 6 months after at most, after the last battle, with Viren still out there. Obviously him being dead for 2 years, Claudia, is a totally normal thing. I am going to talk about Claudia later on. So then if we skip to Zadia, Amaya and the Sun Queen, whose name I can't remember, that was very sweet. I didn't think that it was going to be some kind of ambush. When they came out initially I was like, why is she being attacked? And then I was quite quickly like, oh god, they're dancers, aren't they? But that was very funny. It was both funny and also sad, because you could definitely see how to someone like Amaya, who has spent so much of her life both training for war, fighting against elves, that she's still got that kind of instinctive, there is a threat right now and I've got to protect myself and my loved ones from it, oh my god, there's a threat. So it was kind of sad, but it was also so funny and sweet in other ways as well. And then this happened. And the proposal was everything. I've been saying earlier, like, surely she should have learnt some sign. If they're this close, she should be able to speak to Amaya or understand Amaya when Amaya speaks. But I guess also she is queen and she doesn't have much spare time to learn a whole other language. But the fact that she tried to sign the proposal was adorable, was really, really sweet. And it was even more adorable that, like, she got it wrong. They are a real sign that things have changed and that there is peace between the two realms. I don't know if, I mean, it is a kids show, so I'm all for like over the top hope. I don't know if it's slightly soon for there to be like people to be okay with having a human queen consort or whatever, because like they literally just invaded us 2 years ago and we've been at war with them for generations and we used to look down on them as slaves, kind of like, you know, there's a lot of history here, and I think love should be stronger than all of that. But I wonder if they will face any political repercussions, or if the show is kind of just going to be like, everything's perfect now. I'd be okay with everything but Viren being perfect, or I suppose it's Aaravos that isn't perfect. But that was a really lovely moment, but I did kind of feel like it's only been 2 years since there was sort of war, even though humans did then fight on the side of the it's a lot. But it was a very, very lovely moment and very well deserved for these characters. Soren is still Soren. And you know, I never thought that he would be my favourite of the siblings right at the beginning. But you know, his heart is in the right place, unlike his sisters. But did he ever panic Callum? And I think, obviously in general, knowing your brother is king, you know that there are a lot of dangers to being king. But Callum has, I'm not entirely sure if we know what happened to his biological father, but his mother died in battle fighting for the kingdom. I know it was more complicated than that, but that's kind of all he would have internalised. His father was killed because he was the king. He and his brother have been in all sorts of life and death scenarios in the last 2 years ago. Callum will constantly be thinking, where's the next threat coming from? I've got to protect my brother. And so just seeing them be like, oh yeah, there's a threat against your brother, I was kind of like, just can the boy have a rest? Can the boy have a break? I had kind of assumed, because it was called Rebirthday, and when they were like, does Callum know? Callum this, I kind of assumed it was going to be some sort of a birthday party, especially when the Amaya thing was not a birthday party. But I was very sad for him, although I did think this moment was very funny.
The King's Tower went dark. Ezran's in trouble. Manus, Pluma, Atlantis. Did he just...
It's just the look on Soren's face. Peak Soren. But it did break my heart for Callum. But then the actual party itself was so, so lovely.
What?
Happy birthday, big brother.
I can't believe this.
Have a mystical, magical birthday. Have a wonderful, whimsical birthday. Have a fun and fantastical birthday.
I think it's just really lovely and well deserved to see these characters have these moments of togetherness with their family and friends in the kingdom they fought for. And you know this is calm before the storm. You know that we're having a breather. In some ways it was quite good that this is the episode I mucked up, because although a lot happened and it was a very, very good episode, it was still the introductory episode. It wasn't a thing with too much plot happening. It was more just, where is everybody now? And oh, here's what's coming, and I liked that. Okay, so coming to Claudia.
Alive.
For now.
What do you mean?
I talked about this a lot, I think, in my original reaction, and I liked how I explained myself in that one, but at this point I don't hate Claudia. But I am very worried that she could well become a character as unlikable as Viren. Even if Viren thinks he's doing the right thing. She's kind of there. I do want to know what she did when she says she did things she didn't think she'd be capable of doing. Like, mass murder levels, or just murdering some more innocent helpless creatures. I'm very worried because we have seen that she will go to any lengths to do the things she thinks is right, or the thing that she wants even if she knows it's not right. I mean, she had ample opportunity in the last season to see what their father was doing and break away from him, but unlike Soren, she couldn't do that. And I do think it's slightly different because, unlike Soren, she had a lifetime of being her father's favourite, of her father telling her, oh my god, I love your magic, you're doing, like, she did inspire pride in him, so she kind of wants to keep doing that. And that has fueled her for 2 years. At no point in the past 2 years did she stop and think, maybe my father died as a result of his own hubris. Maybe my father's own actions got him killed. Of course, the second Viren was dead, old Aaravos, I will learn how to say his name properly, Aaravos, I think is how they say it, no, but Aaravos would be straight in Claudia's ear. I mean, he's already seen how devoted she is to her father through when he was, like, looking through Viren's eyes. He has seen that she will do whatever he says and that she's kind of desperate for his approval. So turn that into, we can save him if you just do this, this and this. But I don't believe for a single second that he actually could save Viren. Now, I mean, maybe he could save Viren's life, but I don't think he gives a shit about Viren. I think he knows this is the perfect way to get these two very powerful individuals to go looking for his tomb. To his prison, sorry, and to save him. Because he doesn't care about them. They are pawns in his game. Maybe he can save Viren, and he will do so because he uses Viren as a puppet. Maybe, you know, who knows. But I don't right now think that there's even the slightest chance, and I think I hope Claudia's at least considered the fact that the guy's lying. I do wonder whether we might end up with some kind of scenario where, at the very least Claudia, if not both of them, are like, we just unleashed a really bad guy. We're sorry guys, can we help you with that? It could be interesting, I don't know. But yeah, Claudia, you can definitely see that both she and Viren are very short-sighted in pursuit of their goal, and they're very single-minded. They scare me a lot, and I need to know more about what Claudia has been up to. One thing, of course, we learned that she was up to is having a boyfriend.
I want you to meet my new boyfriend, Terry!
Yes, hello. The name's Terry.
Terry, what the fuck are you doing? This girl and her dead father that she just resurrected invaded Zadia 2 years ago, killed the Sun Queen, Queen of the Sun Elves, wanted to enslave all of you elves. And I know she's very pretty, but what are you doing, Terry? I mean, we know Viren has a very low opinion of elves. What is Claudia doing? loyal to her father to a fault, knows he was there to like conquer elves, but is like, I'm married, I'm not, thank God she's not married, I'm dating one. It was very strange. It was very Claudia. It does baffle me a little bit. I suppose the earth elves, or whatever kind of elf he is, weren't technically affected by Viren. His invasion didn't reach them because we stopped him before it could, so he's removed from it. But it does seem very strange to me that they would just be like, oh yeah, well, you know, if he'd invaded us, never mind. And that Claudia was like, yeah, 2 years ago we invaded you, but if you could help me get my dad back to life, I promise we won't do it again. It's all very interesting, but it was very much an episode 1 where they were teasing us with information of this kind of thing that is to come, and I want them to give me more information. Viren's face was very funny though. And yeah, this moment at the party was very sad.
It's not really my birthday anymore. Not to me. It'll never be the same.
Because of Rayla.
To me, this'll always just be the anniversary of the day she left.
Did she leave on his birthday last year? Like, even if she had to go, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, leaving on his birthday is a very shit move. Did she not go by choice? I don't know, just like leave a week after, leave a week before even. He'll be sad on his birthday, but leaving on his birthday? Rayla. Now, I do hope they, in the next episode, give us... I hope we see Rayla in the next episode. I want to see how, you know, her fashion style has changed in the last 2 years. And I just want to see my child. But Rayla and Callum are very, very young. And I talked about this in possibly more depth than I'm going to be able to go into now, because I always feel like having to redo something, I'm like, I liked how I said it the first time. But Rayla and Callum are very young still, even though they're 2 years older than they were. And they met and formed this huge, deep connection and went through life and death scenarios that I truly believe they heighten emotions and they make relationships stronger quicker. That's why I think in a lot of like fictional things, couples can get to like a stronger connection than you would do if you were just going for coffee dates, because life and death kind of ups those stakes a lot. And they were very, very young when they had this kind of connection, combined with the fact that his life is in Catullus and her life was in Zadia. Yes, maybe there is an argument that one day she could move to Catullus or he could move there, but I think right now it would be unrealistic for either of them to expect the other one to give up their entire life, heritage and family. We don't know, obviously, has Rayla been re-accepted by her people? Can they undo the banishment? Or did she just get accepted by elves in general? Or has she taken up her mother's role, her family's role as guardian? Or has she taken up her family's role as guardian of the dragons? Because then she could be coming. She may well feel a draw to her people and her heritage, and that doesn't mean she doesn't love Callum. I think when they are older, there's the potential for them to have a long distance relationship where they each spend time visiting each other. Relationships don't have to be you get married, you have 2.5 children and you live in a cottage down the road from the castle. So I think they were having very big feelings for their age. Now that may not be nothing to do with why they left. She may have got a prophecy that if she wasn't in Zadia the world would end, or someone may have abducted her, or you know, literally anything could have happened, because all we know is Callum doesn't like his birthday because she left on it. But I am very intrigued about that. I do think they were very young for their emotion, for the level of emotions they were having, but they will find their way back to each other because they found their way to each other in the first place despite impossible odds, and I believe in both of them. And I just hope we see Rayla soon. I miss her. Where is she? This was a very, very good episode. I'm sorry in this review if I missed anything. I did go back through the episode making notes to make sure that I didn't miss anything in my review, but if I have, I am very sorry. Again, I'm just so sorry that this got mucked up the way it did. My sound is back now. I've been able to film something else and checked that it had volume. I'm so annoyed. But these things happen. Tech issues happen. It was a very good episode. I loved seeing, kind of checking in with these characters after 2 years. It's been like 2 months for me, but it's been a bit longer for everybody else, I think. Seeing them so grown and in so many ways so mature but still themselves was lovely, and I'm so excited and scared to see what happens next. Thank you so much, Albert, for sponsoring. A reminder to anybody on YouTube, you can find the unedited versions of the rest of my Dragon Prince reactions up on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.